Hey, what's up? This is the man that you all know and love, E-Digger, and I'm back. I'm back after a 2-week hiatus. Wasn't my fault. But if you just tuning in, you're listening to the Charm City Direct Radio Show, only on the station where music must be played. Wow! I missed that.
Yeah, okay.
I really. Now, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again because two weeks, you feel the energy, and if you just tune it in, you're listening to the Charm City Direct Radio Show, only on the station where music must be played. Wow! It wasn't powerful. Like,
yeah, because everybody like it. Everybody like my voice.
Because
I get mixed up with other people's, but you know.
You sound like other people.
Yes.
I'm trying to get
but I'm not that
charger.
person.
This is how we do in Charm City. If you catching me, Jerry, I'm trying to give her the charge of Miss Cappuccino to my left in the studio. As broadcast on my fan page, we have F the N Click, a Dr. Ahmed Royalty PDM Showcase members. Yeah. Showcase members that's going to be on the panel December the 8th. Come out. I need everyone to come out. Support this
Posted
event.
on FB.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
We have some of the members.
Show some love.
Show some love. You heard it from Slim.
That would be me.
I have to my left Cappuccino and my brother Minister Bay. Right here on the Charm City Direct Radio Show. And pretty much they're going to give us their opinions of anti-bullying in their respective places. Right here on the Charm City Direct Radio Show. It's a lot going on.
Yes.
It's a lot going on. Yes. In the city of Baltimore with the F the N Click movement. And I am honored to be a co-host of the event that's coming up December the 8th. Come out if you need tickets, hit me up. Any one of the members will have tickets for that event. Tickets are $20.
Yep.
It's going to be at 5 Seasons. From 5
well worth it.
Yes, 5 Seasons, 5 to 11. Yeah. I stand corrected.
We'll go with 11. We might have an after party. You never know.
You never know. She said it best.
Yeah. We going in deep.
We might start a cipher, get some positive energy flowing.
Yes,
you really just never know. So, but just come out.
And this is my very first. I just want everybody to know this is my first event. So I'm gonna be a little bit nervous. I'm actually nervous.
We're not gonna
now.
let you be nervous, right, Slim?
Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a privilege to have you guys here, first of all, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you
for showing your support. Couple of questions that I have for you, Minister Bay.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna get right into it. Why do you think Muslims are divided instead of united? Is my first question for you.
Okay. Real quick to make a short story long. First of all, peace to the gods and the earths. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hotep. Peace. From my vantage point, because the Muslim or Muslim community were operating from someone else's psychology. And in the so-called African American community, what has happened is that we've been bullied into the acquiescence of someone else's cultural standpoint and psychology and ideology. So the division is because we don't know who we are. And everyone else comes here knowing who they are, and yet we are still astray. So the division has nothing to do with the lack of love for others. It has to do with the lack of love for self and one's own kind. So the messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, said that first you must love yourself. You know, and in ancient Kemetic teachings it says, man, know thyself. So the division is way beyond something of a book. It's more psychological. It's a psychosis. PTSS.
PG.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Say that again.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome. And that's why the division is going on, because we are searching for something that does not exist. There is no mystery God. There's no mystery God.
Preach.
And so one of the things that I'm going to be speaking on December the 8th is the ideological bullying, the psychological bullying, and dealing with the misogynistic bullying on how the treatment of our women and getting weak women when Abdullah, the woman ruler who don't even have a McDonald's job, looking for 3 or 4 wives, so he'll get a weak sister. Instead of empowering her, he will bully her psychologically, where she's thinking that she is actually practicing Islam, but it's actually Islam.
And of course, Brother Bay, Minister Bay, I'm sorry, you're talking about bullying in Islam.
Yes.
And I left that out. I
Yes.
deeply
I'm
apologize.
speaking on the psychological, ideological effects of what following someone else's ideology or what you think is Islam, because someone told you and you ain't read it for yourself.
Okay, so my next question is, if you both follow Prophet Muhammad, then why are Muslims bullying other Muslims?
It's indoctrination. I don't follow Prophet Muhammad. I don't follow Prophet Muhammad. There's only one God, Allah, whatever name you want to call it. Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever name you want to call it. I'm dealing with, like Star Wars, the Force. So to follow someone when that very psychology is an enslavement psychology. So we still have to go into how the Arabs conquered Egypt and enslaved many of our Egyptian people, but that's another topic. I don't follow Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I follow the tenets and the spiritual teachings of Islam. Even Prophet Muhammad never said, follow me. Okay. He always led you to Allah, you know, in all of the teachings. Now you have others that want to put their little DJ master mix in the Quran or in their teachings. Yeah, they want to put their little DJ master mix in it, because what happens is, if you don't research, you know, back in the days, coming from the 5% nation of gods on earth, you got to show and prove. Now if you don't show and prove, then you have no validity for standing. But again, the teachings of Islam has nothing to do with following Prophet Muhammad. Okay. The division is because we're not reading what the Quran says. The Quran says that we made you into nations and tribes, that you may know one another and not despise one another. So we got to find out, who and where did the despising come from? Who is the agent of the despised behavior? And how come the African American still has not been able to build up their community, but we can sit on the corner and mentally masturbate on whose knowledge is greater than who? So the division all over the world with Islam has to do with the fact that they have strayed away from the spiritual foundation of Islam. They chasing after a mystery God. Yes, sir.
And also, to get on this discussion as well, here on the Charm City Direct Radio Show, you could call in and voice your opinions. By all means, call in 443-475-0073. And I still remember the number. That's amazing. After 2 weeks of hiatus, I still remember that number, 443-475-0073, to get on this discussion right here on the Charm City Direct Radio Show. One last question. Why don't Sunni Muslims and those that don't follow Farrakhan, if they both follow the Holy Quran?
Okay, well, first of all, to go straight to the heart of the matter, there's no such thing as a Sunni. If you read the Quran never mentioned Sunni, Sufi, Shiite, Nation of Islam, or Science. It never indicated that. Okay. In the Quran, it always reveals, O ye who believe. O ye who believe. It always mentioned Muslim. So these little labels is what I'm talking about, the ideological bullying.
The divisiveness.
Yes. That whole divisiveness, because there's no such thing, it's made up by man. So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, first of all, we got to go back to before that. We have to go back to Marcus Garvey and how Marcus Garvey set up an economic program and how they had to get rid of him because folks was waking up. Then we had to go to Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali tried to work on the nationality of our people and law. Then came Elijah Muhammad. So there are those who believe that Minister Farrakhan is not the appropriate person to represent Islam, but there is no appropriate person to represent Islam but yourself. Okay. But because Minister Farrakhan is a bold man, sometimes we player hate. Don't hate the player, hate the game, baby. Yes. So if you're not going to go in your communities and speak loud and speak with force and power, why are you going to be jealous of an individual who has stepped to the plate for over 40 years representing Islam in America? And you have to understand the history back in the 20s and 30s and why Islam in America was designed to wake us up as a freedom, justice, and equality wake-up call. Not to go ahead and bring me back into some camel riding days, Alibaba and the 55 thieves, even though it was 40.
He just added some thieves.
Yeah, it was Pookie and Ray Ray in there.
It was Clyde and Earl.
Yeah, Earl and them.
All of them.
Mump, and Biff and them.
I know Mump.
You know Mump? Yeah, I know Biff. He live up in Connecticut. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is that the bullying is not necessarily physical. It's a psychological bullying. You mean to tell me you're going to accept someone over 9,000 miles away when you got somebody fighting right here? Look like you, ancestors came from the same vicissitudes of life, and you mean to tell me you're going to get jealous of a man? And you're going to go ahead and allow words like Sunni, Sufi, Shiite to divide you when the very book, the Quran, in the 11th chapter, called the 14th chapter, actually, called Ibrahim. It says, we send a messenger and a warner to every nation in the language of its people. So you mean to tell me that I'm going to believe in somebody almost 2,000 years ago? I never seen them. I ain't never seen them. They don't look like me. But I'm going to reject someone on this side of the planet who looks like me, speaks my language, and I'm not supposed to accept them as any type of powerful individual speaking up against the government and still live. So what I have to say about that is, if there is any issue in the audience, all I ask you is, what are you doing in your community?
Exactly. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Minister Winston Parks Bay speaking on bullying in Islam.
Absolutely.
Wow, powerful, brother, powerful.
PTSS.
And what did that stand for again?
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Get it right, y'all. Get it right.
Still chasing after somebody else's religion and have not found yourself, and your communities look like a war zone. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's for real. Still, abandoned houses, abandoned buildings, and we walking around outside trying to be more Arab than the Arab. And they come here and get the stores.
Overnight.
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 And the Negro is still asleep. trying to be like somebody else, and that very person comes over here. They take off their cultural garment, put on suits and ties, and get jobs at Johns Hopkins and University of Maryland, and you want to go ahead and sell incense and oils at Lexington Market.
Lexington Market.
Trying to go back into some time zone of yesteryear. See, right now, the time is on. Anyone who did not believe Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, and today our divine reminder, Minister Farrakhan, check the record. Food stamps is going. What's happening?
True.
The fall of the dollar bill. Elijah Muhammad said it right there in The Fall of America. It's right there. If you ain't get that, you still want to chase after some foreign ideological Catholicism posed as Islam.
Wow.
Prophet Muhammad was a dark man whose family line came from Yemen, which is part of southern Arabia, which is connected to the Ethiopians, or the Yemeni people connected to the Ethiopians who Bilal, which is my Islamic name, came from. A black man, so-called black man, was the first man to call prayer, and they had a problem back then with a jet dark man with melanin getting on top of the Kaaba and calling the prayer, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They had a problem with that. So you mean to tell me I'm going to chase after somebody else's cultural identity, and if I don't, I'm not going to get to paradise? That's psychological bullying. If I don't accept what you say, and I read the book, you mean to tell me I'm not going to go to heaven? I'm going to go to hell. I won't get the 72 versions. Okay, so if there's 72 versions back 2,000 years ago, you mean to tell me those 72 versions are versions now? You mean ain't nobody hit that?
Oh.
So I'm just saying, all of that was because they lived in a desert.
Wow.
And if you lived in a desert with no water, and your troops is about to give up, you give them the dream, the vision, the poetic vision of 72 versions and waters in which river flows, and reclining on couches with brocade, and you know what I'm saying? You follow me? I'm going in. You follow me? So
you.
all of this is psychological bullying. But yet you come back to America, you got BG&E, IRS, the alphabet boys, FBI, CIA, IRS. They say, I don't care about your Allah. Negro, pay your bill. And we will bend, scrape, borrow, hustle, steal to pay that bill. But yet at the same time, you won't uplift your community and build up your community.
Wow. Powerful, brother. Powerful.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to turn my attention to my left. This beautiful woman sitting right next to me, I know I'm going to mess up her name. So she...
Try, give it a try.
yeah, I'm not even going to try. Cappuccino.
We'll go with cappuccino.
We're going to go with cappuccino.
Rabia Abdullah,
Wow, that's pretty.
aka cappuccino.
That is pretty. And you're coming with bullying from perception.
Yes. Basically being bullied by people's perception.
Okay.
Yes. Because would you, I guess, like me
Oh
to
yes,
elaborate?
yes.
Okay. So yeah, the piece that I'm doing is bullied by your perception, and basically what it speaks on is that throughout my life, numerous times people have come up to me and said things like, you know, I didn't like you at first.
Wow.
You know, why do you act like that? You know, just this is the first thing that they've ever said to me. I've never met this person in my life, and they say, you know, I really didn't like you.
So let me get this straight. These are people that you don't know, or people that you...
People that see me, whether it be in school, within the community, at the mosque, at, you know, wherever I am.
Okay.
So they see me from afar, but they never come up to me and have a conversation with me.
Or tried to get to know.
Oh no, not at all. And then because I'm a hugger. So when people come to me, they say hi, I just reach out my arms and I just welcome them in and I hug them. And usually conversations build, and one young lady, of course, whose name I won't mention, but you know, we're friends today. But first conversation we had, at the end of it, she said, "You know what? I really did not like you when I first met you." I said, "We've never met before."
Wow.
She was like, "Oh."